All right, welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak, and it's time for us to take a look at the front pages this morning. We, as always, will start with the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today, and these are the stories making the headlines. From the top, Rivers crisis, Labour threatens protests over emergency rule. Constitution amendment, reps move to stop governorship election cases at appeal court. Okay, so no more going to the Supreme Court then? That would be interesting, right? All right, let's see where this one ends. But you can find more details about the push by the House of Representatives. I suppose this is all part of those 39 bills that have been pushed as part of the Constitution Amendment. 33 years after Ambassador Yahaya Kwande emerges, Longwo, that is on page 4. 2027. I don't know if I will run, according to Atiku. Yeah, but don't we? Anyway, why I didn't pick Wike as running mate in 2023? I mean, much of this is public knowledge, but of course, in a recent interview, we've seen some of the snippet there, and we're perhaps going to see the rest of the footage or the interview today. And that's about it on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. All right, The Guardian is up next, so let's take a look at the front page of The Guardian. Mixed reactions trail proposal to hold general elections in one day. How about that? I would definitely love to deal with everything just one day. Everybody gets elected on the same day, and if the logistics can be ironed out, I don't see why not. I mean, the numbers would suggest that we may not be able to do it, but sure, let's think about this idea. You can read more on this on page 6. Minister unveils 5 million jobs initiative for youths. Federal government begins crackdown on irregular migrants August 1st. Atiku rallies support for new political movement to unseat Tinubu. And appeal court stays action on Bayero Sanusi tussle, returns parties to Supreme Court. The battle for the emirship seat in Kano continues to heat up. Natasha, petitioners yet to meet requirement for recall, says INEC. And there's a lot more from that and many other stories across the pages of the Guardian newspaper. The Vanguard is up next, so let's take a look at the Vanguard, our final stop this morning. Bid to bomb another pipeline in Rivers foiled. Police, Army, Navy, Air Force, others say. What's happening in Rivers? You can get the latest on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper for today. Failed democracy, presidency tackles Obi, others. Cecilia Ebru says from hospital to prison. I believe this is a profile piece, and that's about it on the Vanguard newspaper for today. Let's bring in our newspaper reviewer, a former director of news at the Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Ben Sherman, confidently, conveniently, comfortably sitting at home, talking to us via Zoom this morning. Mr. Ben, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I just want to get your initial take on, I don't know if you watched the few-minute clip of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar dropping those bombshell comments. Some of them new, some of them not necessarily new, but I don't know if you watched it. He had so much to say about Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, characterizing him in not such a complimentary way. What did you make of, his take about this new movement and what he had to say about what happened in 2023?
Yeah, you see, even though I didn't get to watch the exact clip you're talking about, but I know I saw some clips of an interview granted to the BBC, and of course he spoke about the elections, the previous election, his own relationship with the FCT minister, and all that stuff. But again, one is worried as to the fact that Atiku is always on a motion, and that motion there has to be a destination, and in terms of destination there has to be a mission, because he's been able to move from many of these political parties who go join opposition, come back to PDP, and now again he's busy looking, scouting for followers. I'm not too sure that is a very good um, pedigree. I'm not too sure if he's creating a nice niche for himself politically, because I mean, it looks like if he's worried over there or some people are disturbing him, he moves. So why should he just be moving? I don't think it's okay with that. And I still I remember when he was denied of campaigns in Eagle Square, he moved to Parade Ground. On stage or the rostrum, you could see him saying PDP means Poverty Development Party. You know, he was in opposition to PDP. Now he's back again to PDP. From PDP again, he's casting his net somewhere. So I think it's not too good politically, but again, the constitution allows him to move around the way he so wishes. But again, what are his followers saying? Would they be following? And just like the guest you had, he said APC needs a very strong opposition. And even though you did a follow-up questions, and of course I didn't see that he answered very well when he described the opposition as ragtag army. In other words, ragtag is unprofessional group, and they are just some non-entities when it comes to politics. But I think that opposition should be more than that. So I think Atiku should stay in one place, build a very strong opposition that is capable of maybe unseating Asiwaju or APC or any other political party for that matter.
Well, it's not very clear whether he's on his way to the SDP, but the indications are quite telling about this new political movement. We're not quite sure what shape it will take. Are you thinking this is going to be a coalition, alliance, merger? What do you think is going to happen from the body language of all these political figures?
Okay, now if you're talking of some coalitions, if you are talking about some alliances, if you are leaving Labour to go to SDP, you are leaving PDP to go to SDP, you are leaving AC to go to SDP, who are you moving along with? It matters. Not that you go there as a lone ranger. That is one. Two, if you check in terms of the certificate, who is holding on to the certificate? Some people say that Wike, I don't know, can't confirm that Wike, because of the fact that he's holding on to the certificate of registration of PDP, that's why he can call the bluff to anybody. You want to suspend him, you suspend him. Where is the certificate? It is with him. So at what point is he surrendering it? So if you are taking people to a new political party, what are the things they are taking to the place? Not just the followership. Where, at what point do you have the certificate of registration? Who holds it? And that is very, very vital. And that's why you also find out some political parties will just wake up and say, okay, we have expelled so person. We have expelled so person. Those talking of expelling, find out what they are holding. They're probably holding the MasterCard. They are holding the key, like Donald Trump will tell the Ukrainian president. So when you find some people saying that, look, you can go to hell, we call the bluff and all that stuff, they know their stand, they know what they are holding on to be able to call that bluff.
Okay. Let's talk about constitutional amendment. The House of Representatives yesterday passed 39 bills for second reading, and one of them is talking about amendments to the litigation process, the post-election litigation process, and they're moving to stop the governorship election cases at the appeal court. Normally we know that they go from the tribunal to the appeal court, and then they end up at the Supreme Court. Good idea, as far as you're concerned?
I think it's a good idea because if you look at it, election has been held, someone has been sworn in, and he's busy using state machinery to now prosecute elections. The opponent is just there sweating behind the scene. Why must every election in Nigeria be contested? Why must we go to court? And if truly we are going to court, there has to be some limitations. Once the tribunal has ruled, let it remain there. Let it be a constitutional thing. Let it be a legal thing that it ends there. But if you now say, okay, let's go to an appeal court, okay, if you feel the appeal court is the best, or that's the terminal point, let so be it. Because a situation where a governor is there, a president is there, he has spent 6 months in office, 1 year in office, a year and a half, and there are still a court case, litigations here and there. I think it's not the best. Even INEC at the point, Professor Yakubu will say, look, that they had how many thousands of cases in court over election matters. The money to execute all of these cases, they are not there. The personnel, not there. And the time it takes when there are other things they will plan. And that's why, and no wonder, you can see that many lawmakers have died either in the state level, at the state level, House of Reps or Senate. INEC has not been able to conduct elections up to now because of this kind of elections. Must we simply be challenging every election in Nigeria? So I think that it is one of the very best bills if it scales through.
Okay. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, big story. Have a look at it. All these elections in one day, feasible or not feasible according to you? Good.
Very, very feasible. All that we need to do is we are contesting for 5 posts: Senate, House of Reps, State Assembly, Governor, and President. The moment you queue, it's all for the electoral officer to to give you 5 ballot papers. You just go do your voting just like we do for unions. When you go to the box for the president, you drop it. The Senate, you drop. Governor, you drop. It's very, very possible because we're talking of lack of money for INEC to do quite a lot of things. It will reduce a lot of money. It will also, in terms of time management, it will assist. If in India, they conduct elections for almost a month, from one region to another, they gather it, and in the end, they make announcements. Nobody hears of electoral violence. But in Nigeria, one single election, you just see violence here and there, hindering the next elections. And in terms of this thuggery, look, it's just going to be the best of the best thing. I think that the main behind that, Honorable Ugochinyere Ikenga, it's a very good thing. And I also saw Peter Ame, who is the chairman of the Congress of Political Parties. They all have been presenting that. Even a barrister at law, Frank Tietie, they all are moving towards that. And I think that is good omen for Nigeria, that we follow it. And this bandwagon effect, if you say presidential elections will come before any other election or national election, you do national election, the next thing is once the president is announced, everybody will now say, oh, it's going to be a bandwagon effect. Why should I be in opposition? Let me join the president's party. But if we just do it one single day, I tell you, it's going to be very, very credible, very nice move in Nigeria. It's one of the very best things that will happen. And now I think Tinubu, when the bill comes to his table, he should just sign it, and we just know that he's a Democrat who is looking for rule of law. He's a Democrat who is saying that voters' votes must count, because Nigeria has to go to the next level in terms of democracy, in terms of election management.
Right. Okay. Final thoughts before we go. Did you watch that video of the shouting match between a senator and former minister Obi Ezekwesili? Did you watch that? And what did you make of it? All against the backdrop of the commencement of that probe into the sexual allegation claims by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduawa.
Yes, I watch it and I felt disappointed. Personally, when it comes to Senator Nwabonyi, who is always, I think his words are unparliamentary. And for Obieze Kwesili, the thing started from, look, take an oath before you do it. They said, if you don't take an oath, you can just do some affirmation. They were insisting, take an oath, take an oath. You see, there is a legal maxim. They say, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Is that Senate very, very clean when it comes to legalities or legal matters? So when I saw that the senator was busy castigating the former minister, you are a disgrace to women in Nigeria, you are a hooligan. These are unparliamentary. In fact, see, he is fortunate that he's covered by parliamentary immunity. That's why he could say that and go free. But if he had said that outside that parliament, these are things that are actionable in court. And when you look at it, this was the same man who said Natasha had 6 children from 6 different men, and it turned out to be a lie. So why do we begin to, as lawmakers, Senator of the Federal Republic, with that appellation distinguished? I think that the senator missed it, and all people of reasonable and sound character must condemn this senator, people of his political party. In fact, the recall that they want to do over Natasha, which will not even hold water anyway, should also be applied to Senator Nwabonyi. He is overshooting his runway. He's overshooting his boundaries. Look, the fact that you are a senator and you feel you want to protect Akpabio does not mean dancing naked before the eyes of the reasonable man in the street. We all are reasonable people. Okay. But if he chooses to go into that macabre dance, I think it's what you just call a gay kind of expression when you look at that senator. Okay. The fact that he cannot just be castigating anybody simply because he is a senator. And right. I hope he's not also signing out when it comes to his own political career.
All right. Mr. Ben, the studio misses you. This chair has been empty for a couple of weeks now. We're looking forward to seeing you in person soon. I don't know when that would be, but thank you for the analysis. Okay. It's always good to see you.
Well, I'm there in spirit and physically too.
Right, okay. Mr. Ben Shewa, there, former director, Voice of Nigeria, analyzing some of the talking points regarding the newspaper headlines today, providing us with some context. And with that, we wrap things up for today's edition of the program. Daybreak returns tomorrow live at 8 a.m. Until then, it's good morning and do enjoy the rest of your day. Do not forget, 360 Sports is coming up at the top of the hour. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Good morning.